Yeah.
It wasn't me, was it?
All right, we live. Hey, y'all, welcome to the Grio Lounge, where we got stories and we are listening. Today on the Grio Lounge, we had the sister circle in the building. I don't know what happened to my fourth guest. I guess she might come back. My third guest, I guess she might come back in. But today's topic is, what does suicide look like? The story of Big D. And today, my people on this that's coming to the stage, we got Mama Nikki in the house. Say what up, Mama Nikki.
Hey, what up, though?
And we got Mama Sankofa in the building.
Peace and love, everybody.
And I'm gonna let y'all introduce yourself, and then we're gonna get right into it. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Go ahead, Mama Nikki.
Mama Nikki, tell us about yourself, Mama Nikki. You've been on here before too.
Well, I am a new content creator. I go by the name of Just Blaze Detroit. I do skits. I do a little beefing here and there in the beef sector, things like that. I get serious on the serious topics with my sister circle. I'm an educated thug, but that's enough for now.
Thank you and welcome. And Mama Nikki, give us a little introduction. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Peace, y'all. I'm Mama Sankofa. I am the founder of Sankofa Head to Toe Body Essentials, all natural hair, nail, and skin products. I am a community organizationist, activist. I am also a co-founder of Sankofa Creative Society of Detroit.
Sankofa.
Sankofa. And I'm here to talk about it because I got a story to tell.
Yeah, we got a story to tell. We welcome back, Mama Z. Tell us a little bit about Mama Z. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I don't know if you want to stay muted or if you want to just, give us a little introduction about yourself, and then we can go on from there.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I am Mama Z or Miss Z. I am an educator, mother of the community, lover of most things, and I am excited to be on this show. I am loving this platform, this easy to use and navigate platform. Thank you for having me.
Welcome, welcome, and I hope you can come back again and tell us some stories. Y'all, she do poetry too. And she got some dope ass erotic, exotic poetry. We're gonna have her back on here.
Ooh.
A little bit of that.
Okay, thank you.
So recently, we lost a young man, Twitch. They said it was suicide. Some people had their own little speculations, but once again, suicide. What does suicide look like? We're here to talk about that. Just because he was smiling and dancing and being himself does not mean that he wasn't experiencing some form of trauma or depression and things like that. So a lot of people had their own spin on it. They was talking about they killed him, or he a sacrifice, or this is that and the other. When it's all said and done, suicide is the topic of the day. So we're gonna get right into it. Our story is of a young man. We're gonna call him Big D, and he committed suicide. It's somebody that we all know, that we've all met, and we've all spent time with. We've all got to know him, and was a little bit disturbed. I ain't gonna say disturbed, but a little bit shocked when we found out that it was suicide. Because it came at a time when we thought that he was really, getting himself back out there, going through some different things, going through changes and things of that nature. We really thought he was getting back out there. The last time I saw him, he was doing a fashion show. He created a fabulous piece that Mama Sankofa had on, and it was so. And I was so excited for him. I was like, "This is gonna put you on the map. This you back, because he's a jack of all trades. Like, he can do whatever. Name anything, he can do it except surgery. And then again, he might be able to do surgery. I don't know. He was super, super talented. But it was just those the last time I saw him, it didn't seem like he was in a suicidal state. However, I don't live with him, I knew him every day, and we weren't like best friends. He was just, friend in a circle, that I met through the ladies that's on this panel today. So, that was just my observation on what I saw him, and I'm gonna let Mama Z talk about her idea when she met him, and then we're gonna get deeper into his story.
Oh, yes. I met him very briefly because at that time, that was my first time in the rehearsal spot where we were having our rehearsal, and it was just like a hello, bye bye. And if I could give like a
Mic went out. Oh, that's
stereotype
my
of what suicide looks like, to me, I didn't see any signs, just glancing at them. So, um, after hearing the stories, okay, now I see, and there were a lot of signs, um, but like I just briefly met him, and I hope we bring some type of solutions, with this discussion today.
I'm sorry for jumping in, but I don't want to skip over anything. I think we all should answer this question, whether you knew him deeply
Exactly.
or just casually. What does suicide look like to you, Mama Z?
Um, it's kind of like very difficult for me to answer that question. Working in mental health, so there's really, because you can have someone that's happy, go lucky. You just never know what's going on with someone individually, what they're going through, what battles they're um, battling on a daily basis. Um, so that's difficult for me to say.
okay.
Now, based upon the textbook or um, the Hollywood version, depressed and loner. But as we see now, a lot of the people that are, that have been committing suicide lately, some of them are just the opposite, are not so withdrawn as the typical sign or common um, person that commits suicide.
Right, right. Now, Mama Sankofa, you knew him first, and
Mm.
Yes, sir.
you modeled that same fashion show we saw him at.
Oh yeah,
What
girl. He
was
didn't create. He didn't create one piece. He created a whole line.
Oh,
right?
He
wow.
created a whole line. Oh yeah, he had how many models he had?
He
Seven,
had quite a
seven to
bit.
12. Yeah, every piece they had on, he made.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Um. Yep, I knew him, and I never would have expected it from him. The personalities. You know, at a certain point, you start looking more deeply into the people you're around, their personality and their character. But in our younger days, with me, really, maybe not so much. So the things that I noticed, it never would have led me to what was at the end of his road. Um, I noticed not really reclusive or withdrawn behaviors, but he was in the middle of things. He was, like you said, he was a jack of all trades, so he was around people that well known and highly respected for what he did, and the services that he provided. So I don't know. I could tell, with me knowing him personally, that it was a battle going on within him. I did know that. I didn't know it was like that though. I we all battle on the inside. So
Right, right,
even though a person may be all out and outgoing, as with that DJ Twitch, you just never really know the mind space someone is in, or how they would choose to solve their problems.
right. because there was a video that Twitch did, I think, prior to them saying he committed suicide. And
Right.
in the video, he looked like he was enjoying the holiday season, like he was, having fun and he was dancing and stuff. And so, again, you don't know what's going on in the deep, shadows of a person's mind, you know. Um, so, Mama Nikki, you knew him in a different way. Can you give us more details about the events that led up to his suicide?
Um, yeah, just like let's say when the time frame Mama Z met him, she met him at rehearsal. He was vibrant, he was full of life, he was a very magnetic personality to people on the outside. Like people were literally drawn to him. He did a fashion show with Mama Sankofa roughly a week before he did the act. And just to be up out creating those things, like I had no idea about the fashion show. We were estranged at that time. I had been with that man for almost 10 years. We were estranged at that time. I had left for my safety. And he was calling me. He was calling me and sending me videos telling me that he was going to harm himself. He was
Oh
going to
wow,
kill himself. But
wow.
that was nothing out the ordinary because that whole 10 years he had been writing suicide letters and threatening suicide if I didn't come back. Like every time I broke up with him or tried to get away from him, more specifically, he would threaten to commit suicide. He would cut on himself.
I'm
He would take
sorry.
pills. Oh, I'm sorry. He would do stuff like drink antifreeze. Like
Oh God.
it was a lot. It was a lot. So it really got to me that the face he presented to everybody else was so happy go lucky and just showing all his talents and mm, being so magnetic to them while I got the shit end of the stick when I was at home. While the kids got the shit end of the stick. Because he was a very depressed person in the house, not so much outside the house. There were few people who he let in. Like he used to always call or always express these things too that he was feeling this way. He was depressed. He was high and low. But other than that, people didn't really see that. All they saw was the happy go lucky, the man who can do anything, the jack of all trades. When I tell you this man catered, he cooked his ass off. When I tell you he designed, he made a whole line for a fashion show in about a week or two's time. Like he painted, he sung, he acted, he did everything. He was literally a jack of all trades, but the face he presented to the outward world and what he was to the very closest people around him were two very different things. Like it was like some Jekyll and Hyde shit, in my
Mm-mm.
opinion. And I used to be so jealous because when I did have the balls to get away from him, it was like I was the one being punished. I was the one on the outside because the friend group would still be around him. The church we went to, everybody rotated around him. Everybody, were drawn to him. So it's like if I'm on the outs with him, I don't have anybody at that moment. It yeah, it was a lot.
So you kind of went through some shit too throughout the time that you were with him, knowing him.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So when you got the notice that he committed suicide, were you shocked or were you like, yeah, right? What was your reaction at that moment?
Uh, this is the thing. I didn't really get the news. After going through stuff for so long, I got kind of bitter. I got kind of cynical, stuff like that. So when he started telling me he was gonna commit suicide, I used to be like, "You're doing a bad job at it. You failed. You're still here." All that old smart mouth shit, you know, in hindsight was regrettable after he actually did the deed. But he was, it's like I said, I had finally left and I was gone for 2 weeks. That was the longest I had been away from him consecutively. He would always used to be able to threaten suicide, jerk my chain to come back. So
Right.
that time I was standing firm on my square and he started sending me videos of him literally going to the store, purchasing the antifreeze because he done pulled some what we like to call in the sector, I mean, some junkie stunts before,
Wow.
but acting like he would do stuff he wouldn't do it. This time he was actually doing it. Like he's sending me videos of him going to the store, purchasing the antifreeze, cracking over the antifreeze, drinking that shit.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And he
So
survived that?
yeah. I mean it's in a phone that I refuse to touch. Like it was
Oh,
at the
wow.
end of the day, because I had cut my phone off for I cut my phone off for 2 days. I just wouldn't answer. I was just so flustered. I was so tired. I was so worn out. I was so at my wits' end. I just couldn't. But I told him because I was on the west side, he was on the east side. I told him I would come over if he went to the hospital. I told him if he could send me a video of him in the hospital, that I would come. So when he sent me the video of him laying in the hospital bed, I cut my phone off for 2 days.
Wow.
Within those 2 days, like he sent, I forgot if it was 50 videos, but it was an exorbitant amount of videos. And after watching the first three, and I had cut my phone back on, and it had been like 2.5, 3 hours that my phone was on, and he didn't call in that amount of time, I knew something was wrong. Like that man would literally call me like every 10 minutes. Like,
Wow.
yeah, so he didn't call in that amount of time. I knew something was wrong. And he had been telling me though in the videos he was sending and the threats he used to make, like he had a notebook, like a whole spiral notebook full. When we were cleaning out the house a little like, well, I did light cleaning out because you know the family came through, like whatever. But anyway, when we were going through things when it first happened, he had a whole spiral notebook full of different suicide notes with different dates.
Wow.
Like, so he had been telling me he would do it for a while. He told me what didn't nobody give a fuck about him, and I would be the one to find him. I was the last person he had. If I didn't give a fuck no more, then he had nothing to live for. You think I'm playing? I got this huge ass family, but don't nobody give a fuck at the end of the day. If you give up on me, then that you the last person, you the last call. So like I said, he used to call all the time. So I knew when I cut that phone back on a couple hours later that he wasn't calling like crazy, especially me being off the map for 2 days and him being in the hospital stuck, couldn't come stalk me down. Yeah, something was wrong. So I end up contacting his
What do
family,
y'all
trying to
think?
get them to go over there. Nobody would go over there. I end up getting one of the cousins to meet me over there. Nobody else had keys. He locked the house down tight, barred all the windows, everything. Nobody could get in without a key, period. Met the cousin over there, opened the door. We looking in the house for him, no sign of him. So
Wow.
we go down. Well, the cousin go down in the basement first. He like, don't even let her down here. I forgot who else was with us. Don't even let her down there. So of course I bolt down the steps. He's down there hanging. But it looked like he was on a fucking fishing line. Like I can't get that image out my head.
Wow.
I couldn't see him in a still position though. Like in my mind, he kept getting up. I just couldn't see him there. I couldn't see his body being lifeless. Like I just kept seeing him raising up from that position. And it was such an awkward position. It looked like he was literally hanging on a fishing line. Like it was so surreal for me.
Mm. Mm. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry you had to go through all of that. What do y'all
I'm
think
sorry you had to see
was
that.
his what was his what caused all of that? We know from what you're saying that he had been depressed, but what do you think? You think that something, what do you think what do you think the reason why the demons, the any demons that he may have been had to face? I mean, what was his
Mm.
Ooh, we gonna have to table that topic for another day because I literally don't even want to touch on it without delving into it. But there are specific things that I know that was eating that ass alive.
Mm.
So yeah, we gon' we gonna get off into it. I just rather not broach it on this one because we got some ways to go on this one, and y'all know that's gonna be some stuff to wade through.
Yeah, we can go to the next point because we ain't got to do that. We ain't got to do that right now.
Okay. There's more than one, you know, way people, commit suicide. And something that used to be a major issue, and I think it had been, it was a major court case back in the 90s, assisted suicide. What y'all feel about assisted suicide?
Mm. Boy, well, I'm gonna say I think that should be left.
Those family members saying, hold on, but they don't want to. They don't want to do it no more.
I honestly think that should be an individual, personal um thing. It's like you can't tell nobody what to do, and you cannot get inside of a person's head. You cannot make anybody's. If people don't come to the realization themselves, I don't know how else they could, because that's something that cannot be learned. And like we were talking about before, like what's more powerful, you or your demons? And I think that's a struggle that you either overcome or you succumb to.
So you think terminal illness is a demon?
I think terminal illness could certainly be a demon, or not even terminal illness, a very bad illness. It could weigh on a person so heavy.
Do that with an argument with people when I was speaking of ending it all, because I really thought that that would be the best solution to end my suffering. Like, I was complaining about suffering with my physical condition. It's pain every day. It's, no cure. I try so many different natural things. I'm still trying. I still refuse to really give up, because I do believe that this thing that I'm suffering with is not my fault. I wasn't born with it. I didn't eat it. And if I did, it was something that they put in the food supply or whatever. But I was literally arguing with some people, and I know they was, doing it out of love and concern. But the only person that really understood, well, I don't really want to say, but there was only one person that really understood, because they witnessed my struggle every day.
Yeah, it's definitely different when somebody witness it every day. It's
It broke
things
his
that
heart.
other people don't take into account with it. But would you consider that assisted suicide? Were you trying to get somebody to help you, or you were just
No, that was
trying
just
to
basically
commit
suicide.
suicide?
It wasn't assisted because, I couldn't see myself paying nobody to kill me. I can do it myself. But some people that can't move and they have no way to, purchase whatever, pull the trigger, whatever the method they was going to use. But I was going to do that myself, and I attempted to do it twice in my life, because I felt at the time I couldn't cope with what was going on. Like, the first time I attempted it, it was just dealing with a lot of, wicked energy that was around me, and not feeling like I had somebody to help me. I felt like I'm a loner in this, I didn't feel like I could really, like I don't know. I just felt alone. And I was so hurt that it all happened. I tried to find somebody to blame. It was, my ex-husband. It was like one of the decisions that I made to at the last minute, but the church and family say, no, go ahead and marry this man. Like I knew that things wasn't gonna be right. And from the moment I got married, it just was just all bad. My wedding day was bad. My wedding day, my ex-husband had a temperature of 103. He burning up, sweat pouring off of him. He's sick as I don't know what. But prior to that, I told people that I didn't want to do this. I said, it's not right. Something's not right. Something was telling me it's just not right. I felt like the same feeling I felt when I wanted to commit suicide. Like, it's like just crazy. It's just paralyzing. And then nobody listened to me when I was trying to tell them it's not right. They was like, oh, that's just the devil. The devil don't want you to get married. This is God ordained. This God prophesied. And this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get married to this man. Man, let me tell you. Every step I took down the aisle, I wanted to cry. I ain't never thought that was what weddings are supposed to be like. I was expecting to be blissful, but from the moment I tried to call it off, I was like, I just don't want to do this. There was so many red flags, and the only person that paid attention to them was me. But I allowed people to talk me into it. So during those 8 months I was married, we it just all fell apart. And he left, and I was by myself. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I just got married. We just moved in this place. I don't have a steady job. I was at temp agencies and stuff like that. I was like, I'm not going to make it. I was praying to God, crying my heart out, crying out, telling him to send me a sign, give me something to lean on. I needed something. And when I didn't think that I heard from him, walked to the store, and I bought a half a pint of Bacardi. And I went back, and I was going to take these pills, and I was going to end it all. That was the first time. That was an attempt, but I was too much of a punk to do it. I couldn't do it. I drank the liquor, and then all of a sudden I had this overwhelming feeling of love. Like my mother had came and hugged me and said, girl, what is you doing? I'm here. And ironically, she told me that she was feeling something was wrong. I didn't have a phone at the time, so I couldn't call her and she couldn't call me. So if I had a phone, I would have reached out to her and called her, of course, but I couldn't call her. And I was like, if she loved me, I hope she feel me. I hope she know that I tried, But that was like, looking back on it, it was like, I'm like, girl, what was you thinking? You was just, in a moment of weakness, and you thought that it would be best to kill yourself. That was, that was whack. And then I said, I'll never do that again. But then this whole pandemic, plandemic, it brought about a lot of energy that's floating around. So not only am I dealing with my situation, I'm picking up on people that I love situation. They was contemplating suicide too. There was several people that I talked to contemplating suicide. And I'm like, see, I done absorbed your damn energy on top of mine, because I was thinking about the same thing. I wanted to end it all because it was so many problems. That this whole 2 years have been like the most difficult years of my life. Worse than when I got diagnosed. Worse than, it was just the energy, the level of the sadness, the fear, the I couldn't really deal with it. And on top of that, more than one person around me thinking about death. So I was at that edge again. I was like, I'm about to do it. I was about to drink some bleach. And my son came and he took it out of my hands with tears in his eyes.
It's all right, sis.
And I knew I had hurt him. And I told him, I said, I'm gonna hold on as long as there's a little bit of hope. I said, I'm not gonna think about this no more. So I went and got a therapist because I felt like I really needed to just talk to a professional, somebody that don't know me, don't know shit about me except what I say. And I know that's generally the best thing to do when you're in that situation, because nobody's gonna understand what you're going through. Because everybody that know you be like, oh girl, you know you stronger than that. You know you can pull through. You know this, that, and the other. You know you can call me. And all this kind of stuff. And you don't, it's not something that you really want to hear. Sometimes you just want people to shut the fuck up and listen. Act like you don't know me. And just listen. Because when you don't really know that person and really know what they're going through, all you can do is listen. And at the end of the conversation, you can say, well, I hope the best for you, and this is that and that, because you can't say, well, you should be doing this, you should have been doing that, and you know better than that, this is that and the other. That's not, but that's what your loved ones will tell you. But when I went to a therapist, it was like, I knew what the outcome was going to be. I figured that I was going to end up solving my own problems, but it wasn't that easy. It wasn't quite that easy. But I did recognize some things while I was discussing my issues. And I realized that, as much as I talk about being under somebody else's control, the one thing I can control is my emotions and the way I react to things. And it's been a struggle, but I've been trying my best to not cry every day and not focus on, focus on all the issues and all the problems. So I keep telling myself, girl, you ain't nobody better than you. Could nobody deal with the shit you dealing with. You got it. You got it. And just keep telling myself I'm here. As long as I wake up, when I go to sleep, I'm still here. So I just got to live until my number is called. And when that phone ring, I might answer it. But, I'm just saying, it's not easy. And this whole, like I said, this whole 2 years, it was a lot of negative energy that was released. It's a lot of shit that's causing a lot of people to have, matter of fact, one of my Facebook friends had attempted suicide a few months ago. And it was somebody on Facebook that found her because she went live. And I mean, this shit is real. This shit is deep. I've seen posts today on my news feed talking about I can't hold on. I can't make it. People lost their mothers and fathers during this pandemic and they struggling. So much pain, so much death. And people are really barely holding on. I feel it. I feel all of that shit.
Do you still do you no, that's not a good question. But sis, you got to learn how to let that energy flow through you instead of absorbing it. Everybody else's, that protect your energy.
Right. That's why I have you made my witch bag, because I needed extra energy, extra protection, because I felt vulnerable. I felt so wide open. It's the worst thing, everybody have certain level of empathic abilities. Everybody do. But sometimes when you absorb other people's emotions and energy and even death, that shit is so draining. It's so draining. You just you just don't even want to live after experiencing that. Seriously, it just brings thoughts of suicide. But I do believe that suicide, like Mama Sankofa said, I do believe suicide is a demon.
And it's not just that, it's the depression of it too. Everything you just described is depression. And there are clinically depressing circumstances that happen to us, especially as Black and brown women, as women in general, men. I mean, it is detrimental
It
because
says I'm trying to get why did that
if that soul ain't being fed, and you, what I learned is, for all the negative or yeah, I'm just gonna say negative, for all the negative things I have to bear witness to and see, whether it's through the media or music or whatever it is that in life I come across that I have to deal with, I cannot unsee it, and it bothers me. It hurts my soul. Maybe somebody ran off a bridge down here where I'm at. They be running off bridges high over the ocean. Like, damn, that sit with me deep. Or a kid get abducted or something like that. For everything that I am witness to that is negative, I go out and I search for a positive. Oh, this man rescued this little girl, or rescued the people from the burning fire. The 3 little boys saved the car that ran off the road. I mean, I look for positive. I have to seek it out. And I intentionally do that. I intentionally do that.
it's
Well,
I grew cold. Let me put it
I
like
gotta
that.
be the negative
I
person
got
here.
real cold. I grew real cold, and to the point where I really didn't want to care about anything or anybody. And honestly, and this gonna sound real demonic, but it made me feel better, because I only wanted to focus on me and not anybody else. It sounds selfish. It do. But I spent my whole life worrying about other people, helping other people, making sure they was okay. Crying when they was crying. And when I was going through some of the things that I was going through, some of them same people didn't even bother to call me. And I was like, you know what? Fuck them. In fact, fuck everybody. Fuck all this shit.
Yeah, see, that's dwelling on negative. That it is. That is. Like, why? For what? You don't know what people was going through. So again, you look for the good, even if it is in you. Why it got to be negative when it come to you?
Worthy to live, because now I don't got to worry about nobody else. I'm just gonna worry about me. If I cancel all that other nonsense, I can focus on myself. Now, of course, that don't mean I'm not gonna have any feelings about anybody or have any emotion towards something that somebody going through. Come on.
But
But
it
it's
ain't
just that
about
I'm not gonna
nobody
let it
else.
consume me. I'm just gonna say, oh wow, sorry to hear that.
It ain't about nobody else. It's about you finding your positive energy. You finding a way to make yourself feel the way you want to feel.
Long as I don't hurt nobody, long as I don't hurt myself, and long as I don't hurt nobody else. It's all about me. I gotta work on me.
That's
So,
right.
it's depression is real, and there's so many
It
people
is
going through it. So many people going through it. A loved one that's probably going through it right now.
dealing with physical things going on like I am. Oh, it's a whole nother level because as we were saying, I'm live. Because as we were saying, um, it's a whole nother level when you're speaking about your mortality. and what you have to suffer through in everyday living.
My Wi-Fi is
That's
going.
a whole nother ball game. Get out of here.
Right.
So
Yeah, we all know some loved ones. I got some family members too that's been contemplating suicide, you know. Um, dealing
But
with.
my thing is, remember when you was just talking about the first time you tried it, and then when you look back, you was like, that was something so small to even be that wrapped up and consumed about it like that.
Yeah,
That you were that wrapped up and consumed about it.
I really was. I was so hurt, at what my husband did to me, what the church did to me, because it wasn't just them pushing me to get married. It was, them judging the situation, when they found out that he split. I felt weird going to church without him because he was a minister.
I get that, but looking back on it, it was a point where you said that was not nowhere near worth my life.
No, and when looking back, no, it wasn't.
Why
I
wouldn't it be like that every time? That's the part I don't get. Because even with old boy doing it, if he held out for a little longer, I think he would have been in hog heaven. Like everybody, every experience that I just see on the other side something different. I don't. Nope. Mm-mm.
I mean, I was running on emotion. I guess I was so emotional, and I wasn't I wasn't as serious either. Cause if I was, I would have did it. I kind of was just trying to see if somebody was gonna come save me or jump in and say, okay, you got my attention. I don't know, but then I just kept thinking about my mother. Just felt like she just really loved me. I just felt so much love, and I just was like, okay, mom, I'm not gonna do it. But I was just, I don't know, I was just trying to figure things out, and I was struggling trying to do it. Like I didn't know what I was gonna do. Like, what am I gonna do?
So,
I'm a young
granted,
adult trying to figure out. I'm about to be homeless. I can't go stay with my mama. I can't go stay with my daddy. I just, nobody. I feel like I had nowhere to go. I felt like it was just about to all be bad. I felt like I was gonna be living on the street because I was praying, and I just wasn't, getting an answer. Or maybe I wasn't listening, or maybe I wasn't trying. I don't know. I was young and, you know, just hurt. That's all. I was just hurt, just real hurt.
even today with recent more recent events, if I could never imagine to go through. I could never imagine what you go through in your body at all. But what if you ended it and 2 years later they have a cure? Do you know how pissed I would be at you?
they
Say that again, because my Wi-Fi went out. I didn't even hear what you said. I'm sorry.
I said I can never imagine what you're going through in your body. But let's say you ended it all and then 2 years later they found the cure. Do you know how pissed I would be at you?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not depending on them, but I do know that there is some treatments that the medical industry is not funding. But people that got money are funding their own treatments. And I've tried many different things, but this is the one thing that resonates with me more than any of the other things that I tried. And I know I probably said that too before, but this thing makes so much more sense than the other solutions that I was trying, you know, because when you're not a doctor, you just And when you ever been to I was just trying it out. I spent a lot of money on shit that didn't really work. It didn't make me worse, but it didn't work either. But this other treatment, it just, like I said, we're in the age of the apocalypse. A lot of information that was not privy to us is now becoming available. So this information that I'm coming across, it explains more than what I've ever been told by any doctor. And this information has been documented, but they didn't focus on it because Big Pharma had other goals to create MS medicines that don't cure or halt the progression. When you listen to the commercials, they even say it may reduce or it may slow down the progression. It don't say 100% guaranteed for sure. It always say may. Then there are these horrible side effects, including death, that come with it. That's better for them than it is to tell people that, oh, MS. I won't say cure because they won't put that cure word on it, but they say it can be treated. And in many cases, symptoms improve. So that's what I told my son. I
And
said,
what was that? I missed it. What did you say that was the cure or the treatment?
there's a treatment that's out, and there's a lot of people that's been pushing this. I know you heard about the parasites that we have in our body, things like that. There's treatments that can help get rid of those parasites. That's connected to the central nervous system.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know about different. Yeah, that's nice. That's good. And those
But
are reasonably
you have
cheap.
to
Some
really,
of them.
yeah, you have to really, there's people that've been through this treatment. You can't just buy the stuff and start taking it without a doctor's help. And the thing about it is most doctors won't. But there are some doctors, holistic doctors, and people that used to be doctors, but they really want to,
Walk a different path. Hmm.
your insurance won't cover this treatment because they show you what to eat, show you how to eat, to show you how to keep the parasites out, whatever, they show you how to do all of that. Because if you don't, they say you can wreak havoc on your body if you don't know what you're doing. But you got to pay for that, which is, to me, if you got the money, you just got to have the money. But I wish we can get to the point where everybody, instead of selling cures, it just give them away.
All right, Mama Z, how do you feel about assisted suicide and suicide because of uh El Boogie? What did you say the other one was? I'm sorry, terminal illness.
Oh, what is it? Euthanasia? Is that what? Like Dr. Kevorkian type of? Um,
Yeah,
I mean, if that's a person's choice, that we all have free will. If it's their choice to go, um, then that's their choice. But my point was, we were talking about the adults going through that and depression, but the children are very vulnerable and being hit really hard. As an educator, I had to take the semester off this year. Um, I got really, I got really, I was like front center with that last school year. And the nature of my classroom, first and foremost, is emotionally impaired. So different type of um, behaviors and so-called illnesses and ailments and everything all existed under that one title, and it was very It was very heart touching and upsetting. It was like I was just going through so many different emotions, and I just had to take the year off to see it from the youth. And it was like almost every other day I had someone contemplating suicide, a student saying, "Oh, I'm going to kill myself." One second they're running around happy, talking about going to a dance or something, and then the next 5 minutes they're talking about contemplating suicide. And this was like a domino effect. It will happen a couple of times a week. And I mean, most of my students were in therapy. We did experience a shortage of therapists from the pandemic. You know, a lot of the clinics out there, they were sharing therapists. Um, and yeah, and so it hit us very hard.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have
Wow.
resources.
That's
And
another
But
thing
that's why I
this,
too.
have to
this matters.
clusters.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We don't have any help in this field for us, for our babies. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, you said like that suicide energy, it could feel like a demon, but it's a like really, really seductive spirit, and it jumps around. Once a person in a group got that idea in their head, I bet pounds to pennies, everybody in that group that had that idea in their head. It's just probably one person who's vocal about it. But that's why it be happening in clusters and stuff. Then you got people who would have never thought about it before, who lose somebody close to them, who's always thinking about doing it or always threatening to do it or always thinking, he did it. Why can't I do it? He did it. I should take that route out too.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that's true. And it happened just like that. I'm telling you, like at least 3 to 4 times a week, we had a crisis going on. And I thought maybe it was the age group in particular, but it was a lot of different factors. It was a lot of different factors. Most of them were going through things just on a regular, and then we had this pandemic into it, and then to be with their peers, and everybody's going through their own little, bag of situations and issues. And all together, it just caused a domino effect. There was a lot of sadness and depression. After being out of school for about a year and a half, they needed that peer connection, but at the same time, there was some not so positive, you know, energies going on because they fed off of one another.
That's right. It created an atmosphere.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
the rise in domestic violence, it rose because I guess people stuck at home with somebody they barely can stand, and I guess they said a lot of couples went through a lot of domestic violence, and because they might have been feeling depressed and lost a job because of the pandemic and stuff. So that all of it, all of that creates a hostile environment. Yeah.
And
That's
that's
messed
one
up.
thing. They're stuck at home, and like you said, they're there with their accuser or what have you. Like the holidays, that's one of the things that we dread. Oh, the holidays are coming up, so we're gonna have to reteach the routines, but also we're gonna have to pay attention and look for different signs and report out what we see because a lot of things happen. You have those family members or people that pop up, around the holidays or around Christmas, and
Yeah.
Yeah, Uncle Chester is at the Thanksgiving table, and this kid usually has a reprieve 5 days a week being at school, and now they're home 24/7 with Uncle Chester funky ass dropping through.
Right. Yeah. Well, y'all, one thing we know, like we already talked about it earlier, about, protecting your energy. What's one of the ways we can, raise our vibrations, protect our energy? What's one of those ways? Uh, Mama Sankofa, you do, you and your hubby, y'all do a lot of, crystals and uh, orgone pyramids and things of that nature. What's some of the natural ways people can reduce their stress and protect their energy?
You talking to me?
Yeah, Mama Nikki, my bad, Mama Nikki.
uh, Definitely the organ pieces. Ooh, I can't. Definitely organ pieces. Incense. Burning Palo Santo. Yoga. Drink water. Mind your business. No.
Hey,
Definitely something with the way you eat though, because I eat like trash half the time, but the other half of the time I eat all right. So definitely want to be eating some good vitamins and minerals. uh I don't know, I just try to stay a happy person most of the time. I try to balance. I don't look for all love and light, because that's some bullshit. You be out here looking like goober pile. We don't do
okay.
that over here. You strive for balance, you know what I'm saying? Smoke a lot of weed.
There you go.
Learn how to drink some tea, some green tea, some lavender tea. That takes the stress. Get you some lavender oil and things of that nature. Lavender is good for stress. Chamomile. You want to de-stress? Get you some chamomile. My sister's gonna have all that stuff this coming up summer. Next summer. All these teas and things to help you mellow out and help. And shrooms. That's another one. Shrooms. I trash shrooms. I'm trying to get into them. I ain't really getting the feeling that other people get. I'll be all right though. But they say shrooms is good for depression and anxiety. So you know, just find ways to take care of yourself. In my thing, and do protect your energy. Don't go places where you know that it's not gonna be what people that's gonna be there gonna be all toxic and foul and whatnot.
That's right.
Stay away from
Nobody
those
want to be in
places.
that atmosphere anyway. That's right. When people, we do some dumb stuff anyway. Go out to all these clubs and places where we don't even want to be at anyway. Half the half of the time, it's like we gotta have a little bit more common sense. We gotta really pay attention to our intuition and what our heart and what our spirit tells us. Because half the time it ain't steering us wrong. And then second guessing that first guess don't always work out. Like you knew better in the first place. Yeah,
Yep.
you gotta
And
do better.
you know, um, check on people.
Yeah,
There's no cure for depression. There's no cure for this shit. Check on people. See if they all right. You know, sometimes we can't do nothing but call somebody. And believe me, a phone call might save somebody's life or might, convince them to get some help. Uh, you know, don't take it lightly when somebody say, "Yeah, I want to kill myself." Don't take it lightly because
yeah,
it's too real.
yeah.
You know, this world is fucked up. That's number one, and it's hard to convince people to keep living in this bitch. However, just like the day one, somebody done told us, if your mom and daddy didn't tell you, a teacher, a neighbor told us that we all got a purpose. And the majority of us are not walking in our purpose anyway, which can cause us to be depressed. But yeah, I want to real quick because we're about to wrap it up in a minute. But real quick, I want to throw in there about cyberbullying and how that's caused people to commit suicide. Um, I don't even know how to feel about that because cyberbullying, it seemed like it's not that serious, but apparently it affects different people differently. Like somebody online talking about you, threatening you, telling you you stupid, you ugly, and they got all kind of jokes and caps and stuff. I don't, it. I guess it could cause somebody to I don't know. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. I really am still stuck on cyberbullying. That to the point where people commit suicide. Every time I read a story, I'm like, how? How did they let somebody that's nowhere near them, in some cases miles and miles away, how do they let that influence them to the point where they kill themselves? So is that the same kind of demonic energy too?
No, that's not no demonic energy. That's a different generation. It's different. This generation is different. Of course, that wouldn't affect us like that because we grew up in a world without technology like that. They did not. They grew up with it all they knew. So it's much more significant in their lives, and yep, it can touch them just as much as physical, and that is scary as hell.
Yeah, it's very scary because we be talking about it like we was physically bullied, like tripped, bra strap pulled, hair pulled,
Thank you.
pushed, shoved. It was physical with us. So these kids dealing with cyberbullying, and I'm trying to wrap my mind around it. I guess just like we get into arguments on social media, but we know how to cut that shit off. I guess some people don't,
Mm.
and they take it with them, and they think that this person is, or they think that the comments, reading comments, and you see people laughing and saying, she ain't got nothing to say. She got caught. That. I guess they don't leave it online and they just take it with them.
I think all of it's just irrational fear. You think the consequences or the aftermath is going to be way worse than what actually happens. Every time I thought, oh, I done fucked up, life is over, it's been, what I'm saying, woke up the next day and, it was still a next day. It wasn't over. Like, it wasn't that bad. So my biggest thing is talking and talking about it because that way I found so many more people who had similar experiences I could relate to so I could, like, really, really know the world wasn't over. It's people walking around just like me. It's people scarred just like me, and they still here.
Right.
They can't see past today. They can't see the future like that. They're not even. It's like we have been distracted so bad. Our babies are distracted too. They can't see past the day, past the situation, past the drama, past the trauma. It's it's crazy. And again, how do we recover from that? How do we teach our babies that that's not the end of life? That's like TV. You act like this the TV.
I was at the point where
It's
if
fake.
I had to do it all over again, I only would have let my son on the internet just for homework purposes. I would have never. But he don't get into situations like that. But some kids and young people really do.
Yeah. doing stuff. I saw the school shootings now and stuff like that, and they always do stuff online first before they commit the act of unaliving children in school. It's like, the mentality is different. So these people ain't gonna have to go to be like that. And then post up about it. It's what we do.
Oh, what do y'all think could save a life if somebody like one of our boys said they wanted to commit suicide? What do you think you could say to them, express to them, or anything to try to deter them from it?
I don't know. I would have to try to think of something real clever. Like, can you just wait one more day? Just wait one more day. See how you feel tomorrow when you wake up. I don't know if that'll work or not, but I don't know. I have to think of something clever other than just "I love you." Don't do it.
Mm-mm.
You better than that.
Yeah, I'd let mine know that this day will pass. But they say this too shall pass. If you let it, I mean, you can go and get past it. Now, if you want to give up, can't nobody take that away from you. But that's dumb. Who go down like that? Who want to do that? Who really wants to give up? I can't. You know, people gonna do what they gonna do. You have to have sense enough to strive for greater and be greater. You know.
And
Mm-hmm. It's a lot.
if you want to lay on my shoulder, you want to lay on my lap, I'm here. We could stay up all night to the morning come and see how we feel.
So do you think a lot of times that the people that commit these acts, how do they think about the people they're leaving behind? How do they think that their family and their loved ones gonna feel or think or or just live after that?
Some people really think that nobody cares. Some people really take that with them. They think that nobody cares. There's nobody here for them, but nobody love them. They really take that with them. They really believe that.
Mm,
It's not until people actually reach out and say, "Don't do it. Call me. I'm on my way," that they feel, a little love.
that
Feel
somebody,
like maybe somebody do care.
yeah. Wow. I think that's the only part that that's really sits with me really, really bad about committing this act. Because unless you just done totally screwed over everybody in your life, which let's be honest, them type of people ain't the ones that take their own life. How can people, regular loving people, not know that they are loved from their family? They've got to know that they are leaving behind somebody that's gonna hurt them. Are you doing it to hurt your family, or someone in particular, or are you, attention seeking can go a long way, and you know this shit is just true.
And people that's doing it on live, I saw one video. I thought it was scripted,
Oh my God, they be
but the
doing it.
young man was on live, and he
Mm.
went and told his kids and everything
Oh my
goodbye.
God.
I was still trying to figure out was it fake or real, but people was commenting saying that it was real. He was on live, and him and his girl broke up or whatever, and he decided to take his life. Kissed his son
And went and did it in the other. Wait a minute. He kissed his son and did what?
right in front of his baby mama.
He did it in front of.
And that's
He
crazy.
did it in front of them.
Yes, the police was out there too.
Oh my God.
That's why I was like, is this a movie? The police was out there. I guess they called police because he said he was gonna kill himself. They called police. Police outside, and he just was like, I can't do this. I cannot take this. I can't do this no more. I'm done.
So really, so a person that could do that in front of their baby and their girl, like something ain't right there to me. You trying to traumatize them for the rest of their life. They ain't going. They not trying to die. Why you that mean? Why you that hateful? Why you that selfish? Who does that?
And then recorded it
And
and then put it
record.
on live
Oh
so
my.
everybody can see.
Oh
I
my.
don't get that. That's what I don't get.
Mm-mm. Whoa.
But I was reading about that too. They said that kind of stuff is on the rise and everything.
So in the aftermath, assuming they got at least one parent still living, they got a kid or two, maybe three. No, that's the people they used to, go places with, do things with. Like just no consideration for what they gonna go through. Just assume the kid's gonna be sweet. Just assume a couple of your folks ain't gonna be having the same type of thoughts running through their mind. Like, yeah, he did it. I was going through stuff similar to him. I might as well do it too.
Mm.
You don't
Mm,
think they families on watch now? You don't think when them kids hit them crucial years and they go through the same shit everybody else done went through, they gonna be thinking, oh, I might as well end it. I might as well just end it. You don't think everybody
Right.
around them gonna have to have their head on swivel because they
Right.
taking ordinary growing pains as a sign that life is over and I should just toss the towel in? But that's not what happens, right?
Right.
Right. It's a seductive spirit and it happens in clusters.
wow.
Wow. Mm. Mm-mm. Yeah, I can see it. Being enticing and thinking it's your only way. It's a better way. I'll show you. I get the last word even.
Yeah, it's kind of you got to kind of try to really give these people a really good reason to stay here because this is a crazy world. And like I said,
Mm.
when the folks say that, you here for a purpose, that's another thing I use too. You here for a purpose. Find it, figure it out. Go within yourself, get to know yourself.
That's right.
I don't know. I think maybe we should look into something doing with people like some type of workshop or something where people have to start getting to know like you can change your life. You can go to a totally different town and start
That's right.
over. You can be a
Mhm.
nomad, be a fucking gypsy, be gypsies, tramps, and thieves, motherfucker. Just move around. If you don't like your circumstance,
Experience
stop
something
feeling
different.
chained down.
That's right. Experience something different.
Yeah.
Expect something
Act like
different.
you Jill Scott in the goddamn Tyler Perry movie. Cut your hair off, go find a cute single sheriff and get it in. What the fuck?
Never. Never.
Or just heal first.
I'm going down to the sheriff station tomorrow.
Right, heal at the sheriff station.
Mm. Yeah.
I don't know. Like you're saying, I think the biggest thing is therapy. Whether talking about it with a group of people, talking about it with a licensed therapist, just talk about it. You'll find way more people who share similar stories, circumstances, or know somebody who did or contemplated it. You'll see similarities. You'll see that some of these people actually made it through, not only survive, but thrive. I just think the biggest thing is talking, knowing you are not alone, knowing life was, nobody ever said life was going to be easy. It's not a fucking crystal stair.
Yeah.
But you got to find meaning. And you got to find what mean the world to you. But my biggest thing is our loved ones. Our
Yeah.
loved ones are the ones who got to stay here and deal with it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly. Exactly. So listen, y'all. If y'all got anything else to add? If not, then I'm gonna switch it over and do my question and answer thing. Something I was supposed to been starting to do. This just for fun, just to change it up a little bit, you know. Um, so if
Yeah,
you got anything else to add, let me know, and then I'm gonna just do this question and answer thing, and then we can we can be out.
nah, go ahead, do what you do, ma.
Right, you got it.
Okay, first question, and you gotta answer. Can't say pass. No, I'm just playing. Actually, I was supposed to write all these down. I'm trying to remember on the top of my head. First question, uh, Mama Nikki, what's your favorite R. Kelly song?
Step in my room.
Step in My Room. Okay, okay. All right, Mama Sankofa, favorite R. Kelly song.
Honey Love.
Okay, okay, okay. Honey Love. All right. Next question. Michael Jackson, The Prince, Mama Nikki.
Prince.
All right, Mama Sankofa.
Mike.
Okay. Mama Nikki, Lil Wayne or Jay Z?
Why these questions so hard?
Right.
Jay-Z.
Okay. Mama Sankofa, Lil Wayne or Jay Z?
That would be neither.
Okay. All
What?
right.
That's hilarious. You don't like either one?
If you had a gun to your head, who would you choose?
What you mean? Who would I choose? Oh, them two. Um, so then I'd have to choose. Damn, man, you bold. It'd have to be Jay Z.
Okay, okay. Let me see. What was the other question I had in my head? Come on, Lynette. Think.
Cause he sucked.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is a stupid one, but I want to hear the answer to this one. Uh, Mama Nikki, Kevin Samuels or Andrew Tate?
I don't know who Andrew Tate is, but I'm gonna imagine he another Kevin Samuels. Damn it.
Little bit different. He
Gordon
comes.
Ramsay.
He said Gordon Ramsay. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a good question too. Okay, Mama Sankofa, Kevin Samuels or Andrew Tate?
I don't know
Who
who
would you
Andrew.
deal with?
I don't know who Andrew Tate is.
Okay, Kevin Samuels and Charleston White.
Girl, I don't know them people, so I'm gonna pick Charleston White because I don't like Kevin Samuels.
Okay. Okay, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Rest in peace.
Oh
Rest
my
in
bad.
peace,
Yes,
Kevin Samuels. So
rest
I'm
in
gonna pick
peace.
him.
Okay, last one.
Mm-mm.
Ayana Vasant or Shara Hazard Ali.
I
Mama
don't know.
Sankofa.
I don't know who Shazari is.
Shazara Had Ali, the lady from the 90s that they did the skin on Living Color with the big hat talking about the black woman. She wrote
Oh,
the book, The Black Man's Guide to Training the Black
oh
Woman.
yes, yes. Okay, so her or who?
Ayana Vasant.
No, I'm gonna go with her. Chicago.
Ayana
I
Vasant.
like that. No, Chicago. What's her name?
Shahrazad Ali. Ooh. Okay.
Shahrazad, I like her.
Okay. And Mama Nikki, Shahrazad Ali or Ayana Vazant?
And Yana Bazant.
All right. All right. Okay, ladies, that's the end of that question and answer situation. I want to thank you all for participating and thank you all for coming on the notification buttons and tune in. We'll be back next week. We'll be back as long as y'all want us around, as long as y'all want to tell y'all stories, as long as you want to get on the stage and tell your stories. You can tell any story you want to tell. Or you can pull from the Grio hat, but we just want y'all to join in and join us again next week as we discuss more topics and have more stories. Thank my guests for coming. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. That's my sister circle. It's my music too loud. Sorry about that. That's my sister circle, y'all. Get y'all a sister circle.
Thank you. That's
Get
right.
Wait,
y'all
I
a
Thank you,
got a
sister
thank
circle.
question.
you.
I got a question.
Yes.
The lady in the hat who wanted to train us how to be good wives. What's her
Who?
name?
Who was that?
Yeah. Shahrazad Ali.
Would
Oh, that's
you
her?
punch
Oh, I didn't know that was her training us how to be good wives.
Yeah.
L Boogie? Would you punch her in the throat or kick her in the back?
I think I'll punch her in the throat because I heard her voice.
Thank you,
Oh, my
thank you.
Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I don't know who
Yeah,
she is.
I'm not a fan of her. Never have been, but I love that skit. Go check that skit out. It's on YouTube, I think. The Living Color skit about her. That shit hilarious. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
y'all remember they did it back in the 90s when they was talking about when she was talking about fellas, if your woman don't want to act right, punch her ass in the mouth.
Damn.
Cause she put that in her book. She said that. She was like, a
Oh, she
black woman
did?
is too
Oh, that ain't who I
black
thought
women
that
are
was.
too.
Damn.
Yeah, she wrote a
That's
book
not
called
who I thought that was.
The Guide for Black Men and how to deal with black women or some shit. She wrote a book. And she got a
Mm.
lot of backlash for it, but the conscious community love her because she clown black women, so they love that shit.
So Mama Sankofa, you changing yours to Ileana Vanzant too, because
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
I didn't know that's who that was.
Yeah, that's who she is. I never liked her. I just didn't even know why people paid attention to it, but and she telling people how, and I don't even think she was married. Most of the relationship gurus and people that give you advice, they don't even be married their damn self.
That part.
Like, how you gonna
Well, the
give
thing
advice?
is, their husband and wife don't like them anyway.
Right, right.
That part.
Yeah. So y'all, thank y'all once again. We could be talking all night, but we'll talk backstage. Let me let these good people go. Thank y'all for
Right.
watching. Thank you, Zaria, my niece. Thank you so much for watching. I love you for that.
Thank you for
I
having us.
what's on Facebook. I can't see what's on Facebook and YouTube yet. But yeah, thank y'all. And once again, we out.
We out. Peace and power, y'all.
Bye.